Hi everyone, welcome. In this lesson, we are going to configure our account header for this financial model. So let's quickly go and configure the account header. So to configure the account header, so we will use this, our finance actual, our DIM finance account header. So to configure the account header. So let's see what the account header looks like. We'll bring a matrix table here. So this matrix table, click on it just to bring it here. So adjust and position it. Then we'll bring this account header here. So this is account header. Account header is like the topmost in hierarchy. So in everything in our financials. So the accounts build up to the sub accounts, then to the header itself. So this now is the account header. So now we are going to show, we already have our total amount here. Total amount is just the sum of everything on our financial. So just the sum of everything, both income and expenses. So it just sums everything up. So we bring this here. The total is just a sum formula. We bring the total amount here. So you can see this. So but one thing, cost of sales, for us to be able to calculate this efficiently, how we show financials is that, okay, we show everything in Power BI, everything that was supposed to add up to give us the other thing under are supposed to be arranged serially. So from what we can see here, this is not arranged serially. So I have to go back to my table and sort this to bring this serial arrangement. So I'll come to table here. So on this account header, I click on finance account header. I go to sort column by finance account header ID. So it sorts it. So when we go back to the metrics, we can see that the first one coming up is gross sales before discount, then cost of sales. Yeah, because there are also some things under. For example, gross sales, the addition of gross sales to discounts gives us net sales. So it has to be directly below that number. Okay. So let's go. So now the other things that we don't have accounts that fit in value into are not shown yet here. To bring them up, we'll come to rows right here and go to rows. Then we show show items with no data. So that comes up here. So net sales, gross margin, operating profit, then profit and loss. So although this 55 million here is profit and loss also, but so since we want to see the name profit and loss, so we have to create just another line for this. So the next thing now, what we'll do next is to actually view that serial sorting by account header, whether is done. So bring it down here. Let's see. So then we go and do maximum. So maximum shows us that 100, 200, so it's arranged accordingly. So we are fine. So the next thing now is to start building this account header, start configuring it, start putting our values into it. So let's go. Before we do that, let's just increase this size so that you'll be able to see properly. You'll be able to see it very well. So I just come here, type in size. So I type in size, then so I increase the text size to 12. Okay, I think 13. Yeah, this should be fine. So I take this off. Then we go to the measure. New measure. So we call this new measure P and L. P and L. Yeah, P and L. So the first thing we will write into this measure is to get the max finance ID, because we are actually going to use that on our running total. So that will be equal to, we use a variable var. We call this finance account finance ACC, which is account ID, that will be equal to max. So the same max we use here, maximum, that's max. The table name is DIM Finance account header. Call up the table name DIM Finance account header, then account header ID. This is what we're looking for. Then we go to return. Let's return the finance ID so that we can just view. So we enter. Okay. Then let's bring the P&L measure and put it in here. Let's see, this number we are putting in here should correspond to this number here. Okay, you can see 100, 200, yeah. So the same thing. So we are good. So let's take this off. So we are good to continue. So the other thing, the next thing we are going to do is to put in a variable for running totals that sums all the lines in the financials top down. It sums it top down. So that is what we're going to do next. Shift enter. We are going to see var and that variable running total. Let's call this running tot. Okay, running TOT. Okay, running TOT. This will be equal to, let's see, calculate, right? We are calculating what total amount that we just did, total amount. Then we are going to introduce the filter function just to help us filter by all account header. So filter all finance account header. That is the header we just hold. So we are going to filter by our finance account header. So all finance, okay, that is DIM. So I'm going to call the same table. Okay, DIM finance header. Okay, DIM finance account header. That's the table. Then comma. Then we are going to, from the DIM finance account header, we are going to do the account header ID. That is this finance account header ID is less than or is equal to this finance account ID that's inside the measure. So we still take this same table, we bring the same table here. Okay, filter, bring in this, then this ID. Okay, then this ID is less than or equal to the finance that we just created. All right, so we now return what? Okay, so let's return the value. So I close this bracket. So we return the running total. So I copy this here, just paste it here. So let's see what the value is. Okay, all right, so let me use this. Okay, let's cancel this and view our running total. So we can see that this 271 is still returning 271 million here, So this 271 minus 12 will give us 258. Yeah, 258, which is this here. Then, but if you look at something here, it doesn't, this count is not 258 million. This count is actually 12 million. So this value, it doesn't really make sense for this value to be here, right? But if you use our calculator, 271 minus 12 will actually give us this. So all this 271 minus 12 minus 71 will give us this gross margin. So if we take out operating expense, it will give us this operating profit, and all of that till we get to our P&L, which is the profit and loss, right? So but now we know that this discounts, this should not be here, this should not be here. So in essence, everything that has a detail, so the detail coming from the table or coming from our finance table that has the input in there, is not supposed to be here. So we'll write a conditional statement that will, if it has an input from the financial table, it should return this value, total amount. Then if it does not have an input, which is what we just derived now, it should return the P&L. So let's write that conditional statement inside this our P&L. So we click back on the P&L, then we put in the conditional statement in there. So before we put in the conditional statement, let me quickly bring that the column we created on our finance account header that helps us know if it has a value or not. That is finance account detail. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to do maximum. So any one that has 0 means that there is no detail from the finance actual table. So there's no detail from there. So anyone that has 1 means it has detail on the finance actual table. So that's what we are going to use inside our measure to bring out the P&L. So let's go back there. So inside this measure now, so we are going to write another variable to bring out this detail. So we are going to call it var finance detail, equals to another maximum, the same maximum we wrote here, another maximum. This is the table. Let me just copy this table instead of typing this. Then I'm going to look at the detail, the max detail. So let's even view that max detail. Okay, let me say max finance detail. Let's view the max finance detail. So just put it here and enter. So this should either return 1 or 0. So let's view it so that we know if it's working. You can see it's working perfectly. Where this return 1, this return 1, where it returns 0, it returns 0. So it's working perfectly. So let's go back. Alright. So it's, let's go back. So now put in our conditional statement that if it has detail in there in the finance table, it should return total amount. But if it doesn't have detail, which is the one that we've derived, it should return P&L. So the formula we are going to use for this is switch. So we are going to say result or outcome, var outcome equal to switch what? So we are going to write a switch statement. Okay, switch if max. So switch if is true. So that's how the syntax works. Switch if true, or the true comes first. Sorry. Okay. Enter. Switch if true. What should happen if it's true? So that is the max detail. If this max detail is 1, okay, I'm going to just copy this, equals to 1. So return what? So that's 1 means it has detail in the finance actual. So return total amount. So now, comma. So if this same max detail is 0, it should return what? Our running total. If it's 0, it should return the running total. Should return the running total. Right. Else. So she just bring up blank. Right? Okay. So that is it. So now I'll close the switch statement. So this return now, instead of max finance detail, this should return our outcome. The outcome of the formula. So that is it. So once this loads now, we'll see the breakdown of our account, of the account header. Okay, you can see right here the breakdown. Let me take off the max detail. So it should go off. So you can see the breakdown of this account header. So 271, this 12 is 12 here now, this 79 here, yeah, which makes sense. So we take this off. So under confirmation now, our profit and loss is positive 55 million. It's also, yeah, 55 million. We can decide to take this row off, but we'll do that when we are formatting the table. So now let's even, so we've gotten this, this is our account header. So we might want to view this by, if we go to the finance account, okay, if we put the subheader in there, we'll just put the subheader, so you can see the gross sales will be broken down into, so what makes up gross sales, so company sales, trading sales, so all makes up gross sales. So discounts, you have your discounts and return on adjustments, this makes up discounts. Then net sales, so here this is where the case is. For net sales, I'm not supposed to be seeing this breakdown. I'm not supposed to be seeing this breakdown. So that is the problem we are going to solve in the next lesson.